Hello everyone and welcome to this week's game development log video diary, and this week I've been doing a lot more work on the GUIs and the breeding trees. So most of the work that I've done this week has been to do with this new species information GUI, which provides lots of information about a certain species. This GUI can be accessed by clicking on the new info button in an entity's pop-up GUI, or as I've mentioned in a previous devlog, it can also be accessed by clicking on the info button on a species in the shop. To close the GUI, you can click on the cross in the top right, or just like with the shop, it also automatically closes when you click off it. At the moment, this new GUI has 3 tabs at the top which you can look at, and the first of these just provides general information about the species. So here we've got an image of the species, although next week I want to turn this into an actual 3D rendering that you can rotate. Here you've got a quick description of the species, and then in this section here there are going to be all the stats for that species. These stats are provided by the various components of the entity, so there obviously aren't very many at the moment, but when I get to actually working on the different behaviours and characteristics of the various entities, there'll be a lot more information in here, and it will be things like the average size of the species, which biomes it prefers, what requirements it has, what predators it has, and other things like that. The other 2 tabs up here are to do with breeding trees, which are another thing that I worked on this week. I've talked a bit about breeding trees a few times before, and basically they determine which species can be bred from other species. I'll be going into more detail about how the mechanics of this and the selective breeding system work next time, but for this week I was just concentrating on displaying these trees in the GUI. So if you click on this tab here, you can now see all of the other species that can be bred from this species. And obviously I don't have very many entities in the game at the moment, so this doesn't really make very much sense right now, but don't worry about that too much. So this shows that from grass you can breed mushrooms and trees, from this tree you can breed fir trees and birches, from the mushrooms you can breed flowers, and so on. When you mouse over one of these species, there'll be a small pop-up GUI indicating the requirements for breeding that species, and if you click on one of them, it brings up the information for that species. The second tab here shows how you can breed this species from other species. So for the rat species, it shows that the rat can be bred from sheep, the sheep can be bred from mushrooms for now, and the mushrooms can be bred from grass, which is the base species, so that would have to be bought in the base species shop. From this you can also see that the rat is a tier 4 species, and now in the entity pop-up GUIs, the tier numbers in the top left are correctly based on the position of the species in its breeding tree. In order to create the breeding trees, the only change that I had to make to the entities was that each entity or species now has the option of having one parent species. So I just had to set the parents for a few of the species, and then I created a system that automatically connects them together into a tree structure, and then I also made another system that can display that tree structure in the GUIs. So if I add in a few test species, you can see that this works fine for any size tree of any shape or structure, and the new system automatically calculates how the nodes have to be laid out to make sure that they don't overlap, and it also automatically generates the lines to join up the nodes. You can also actually drag the tree around with the mouse in case it's too big to fit on the GUI, but as you can see, I still need to work on having the tree get cut off when it goes outside of the frame. So that is going to be it for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.